Hello, welcome back. Today I wanted to try something a little different because I love hearing and reading about the AITA, am I the asshole, on Reddit. So I'm gonna look at a few and give my advice. Maybe they're watching, maybe they're not, or if you're in the same situation. I just thought it would be really fun because people be going through some things. As I'm looking right now at a new one that I haven't even read it before this, so we're gonna see about it together.
Sipping on some cocoa.
This was just posted 3 hours ago, so I feel like y'all probably ain't see this yet. But anyway, it says, am I the asshole for using a kid's teaching technique on my wife? My wife, 36 female, and I, a 38-year-old male, have been married for 12 years and have 3 kids, 10, 8, and 5. None of our kids have phones yet, so about 6 months ago, we had a talk with all of them to talk about what they should do if they ever get lost, in danger, need help, etc. One of the things we talked about was them knowing both mine and my wife's phone numbers. I even made some flashcards with our numbers in addition to their grandparents' numbers so that they could memorize them. We kind of turned it into a game to help them learn, and it worked. During that time, it came up that my wife doesn't know my phone number by heart. In fact, she doesn't have any phone numbers memorized anymore. I told her that she should at least have mine and someone else's, like her mom, memorized in case she can't use her phone and she needs to get a hold of someone. She told me I was overreacting and that it isn't a big deal. She then asked if I have had her number memorized, and I railed it off to her without hesitation, along with my mom's, dad's, and my younger brothers. Well, a couple weeks ago, she was at a work event about an hour from where we live. She somehow managed to lock her purse in her car. Her purse had her car keys and her phone inside, so she had no way to get home and no way to call me. Thankfully, a coworker of hers was willing to drive her home, but then we had to pile all 3 kids into the car and drive an hour to get her car and then drive back home. Of course, one thing that came up during that drive was that my wife had no way to contact me because she doesn't know my number. If she had my number memorized, I could have brought her keys to her and saved her coworker the inconvenience. She got very defensive about it, which I'm sure was because of embarrassment. But I used the situation as an example and told her that if it was an emergency instead, then it would be a much bigger problem. She eventually agreed that she would try to memorize some phone numbers. Excuse me. Naturally, since we had already had flashcards at home for this very reason, I figured it would be a good way to help her learn. I got the kids involved as well, just to reinforce that memorization for them. Problem was that my wife couldn't memorize the numbers. My kids knew them all by heart, even the 5-year-old. My wife got frustrated and embarrassed. She said she would just write numbers on a piece of paper and put it in her purse. I had to remind her that idea would do absolutely no good if she locked her purse in the car again or lost it. She got upset with me and told me that no one memorizes numbers anymore and that even if it was an emergency, she would figure something out. I told her that's not good enough for me. I told her I don't care how frustrating or embarrassing it is for her, but she needs to memorize at least my number and someone else's. She told me that I am being a big jerk about this and making it into a huge deal when it doesn't need to be. So is he the asshole? In my opinion, he's not. I think ego gets in the way a lot. So the wife is probably embarrassed, but I understand why she doesn't want to use the flashcards, and also it might just be challenging for her to memorize it, but we have to memorize so much, so I really feel like she could memorize 10 digits. So I don't think he's the asshole. What do you guys think? Also, to be fair, he could possibly come up with a different method for helping her memorize, since it is kind of embarrassing and kind of seems like she's being treated as a child. In a sense, it would probably be better to like give her like a physical book that she can carry, or like something, because I know she said she would carry paper and put it in her purse. Of course, that's not a good method since she left her purse in the car, but it has to be another alternative. What that alternative is, I don't know, because everything is in our phones these days, right? So it is kind of hard to say, but hopefully they get over this. I don't think he's being an asshole, like, for wanting her to remember, though. I think she's being a little sensitive, and it's fair, but it's also not unreasonable for you to memorize your parents' numbers or your spouse's number. So I don't think he's being unreasonable. I think she's kind of just gotta find a way to memorize those 10 digits. Simple as that. Okay, we got another one. Am I the asshole for upsetting my daughter on her birthday? Now y'all know how I feel about birthdays. It's very important. It's the biggest deal. All right, so let's read this one. I'm a mother to 2 kids, Rosalie, 13, female, and Jamie, 5, male. Rosalie's birthday was yesterday, and it was supposed to be a good time, but this happened, and now things are tense with my family. Rosalie had plans for her birthday. We were supposed to go to Santa Cruz, but my husband got laid off back in May, and he has a new job, but he didn't feel comfortable taking any vacation since he's still new to his company. She accepted that and made new plans. She wanted to go shopping and then spend most of the day at home. I took her shopping and she got a few things. Thankfully, she doesn't have expensive tastes yet. And took her to a movie. However, I ended up changing a few things. When we bought Rosalie her cake, she wanted cheesecake, but she's the only one who likes that in our house. So I made her pick one we could all enjoy and ended up settling for a chocolate cake with whipped frosting, which she ended up not eating because she didn't like it. Jamie also got to blow out the candles first since he doesn't understand that Rosalie's birthday is her day and is too young to understand yet. She was upset with this and said that we made the blowing out candles about him. I reminded her that he can't understand that they're meant for her yet, and she went quiet. My husband brought out one of those musical candles that plays a song when blown out, and when she tried blowing it out, it didn't work, which upset her even more. The final straw was the fact that she didn't get any presents. Admittedly, we were so caught up in other things that we didn't buy her any gifts. But I thought what she bought in town would have compensated for it. Her grandma sent her a present, but she accidentally sent her something meant for one of her cousins. She ended up getting upset over the lack of presents, and it felt a little entitled. Eventually, she got upset and yelled at us, saying that her birthday sucked. I reminded her about her shopping spree and movie, and she said that wasn't enough. We had a little back and forth, but now she's grounded and upset with me. My husband is on my side, but my mother, same grandma that sent her the cousin's present, is angry at me and called me an asshole. She also wanted to send a new gift, but I told her no because of how Rosalie acted and said I would have it returned if she tried. However, I wonder now if I was an asshole. I'm gonna have to side with Rosalie on this one. I would, for a couple reasons. Number one, I don't think Rosalie asked for too much, so fine. Her mother ended up changing a few things, the person that's writing in. So first of all, she didn't get Rosalie the cake that she wanted. I think a compromise could have been to get her a slice of cheesecake because it's her birthday. Like, I don't agree with rewarding bad behavior, but I don't think Rosalie was being bad for having a preference. So she should have got that cheesecake. And then y'all all seen the TikTok with the woman letting all her kids blow out her daughter's candles, like letting all the siblings blow them out. I don't care if the kids don't get it. You need to make them understand, like, this is for your sister, this is her day. Don't cover his mouth if you need to. Like, it's really, I grew up with a sister 5 years older than me, and I don't think I've ever blown out her candles, at least not before her or before she even got a chance to try. So I understand why Rosalie was pissed about that. That did make it suck. And then the grandmother's mistake, that really sucks. And I understand why Rosalie would be upset too. She's 13, she's in middle school, going to high school. She's still like figuring things out, and she doesn't know how to how to feel about this stuff, but it definitely sucks. Like, okay, yes, she got the gifts from the shopping spree. That was nice, I get it. But it's just, I think it kind of makes her feel like her family is careless. Like the other ones, like I said, birthdays are a big deal to us. So even if we went on the shopping spree, you could have had a card for her or something. But I mean, I understand everyone doesn't get gifts. It's not a big deal to everyone. Not to say it's not a big deal, but that was like an honest mistake from her grandmother. But then I don't know why her mother had to ground her just because she had a dad. You know what I mean? I don't think that was okay. And the fact that her grandmother wanted to send her a new present and she said that she would send it back, I think is really mean. And my mother would do stuff like that when not when I was younger, but if someone offered me something, she'd be like, no, she doesn't need it, that's okay. That was only sometimes. I'm not holding it against her, but I didn't like that. Like, if they wanted to give me something, let them give it to me. So I didn't understand why, like, just for that, for her having a fit on her birthday, that her mother would say that she would send the gift back. So yeah, in this case, like, I don't think she's a full-on asshole, but I do think she's being a little unreasonable with her daughter. Was I being the asshole for excluding my niece in a birthday celebration? My son and niece are the same age and were born within 2 weeks of one another. When we planned my son's first birthday, my brother insisted that we make it a double birthday party celebration for both kids because it would be more convenient. His actual biggest reason was that he didn't want to plan a separate party for his daughter because it was too stressful and complicated, and you're already throwing your son a party and you might as well include your niece in it too. My brother also said that if we didn't include niece in the celebration, then I would be a terrible aunt for making her miss out on her first birthday party, which ultimately meant that he and my sister-in-law weren't going to throw her one separately. Ultimately, my husband and I agreed because we wanted both kids to be celebrated. I didn't want my niece to look back at old photos and videos and wonder why our son always got the party and she didn't. Now my husband and I are discussing our son's third birthday. We like to plan a few months in advance to book the place, figure out catering, and so on. We mentioned a few dates to our families, and my brother immediately said that he'd get back to us on dates that my sister-in-law's family would be free so that we could also celebrate niece's birthday. I told him that we were only celebrating son's birthday because we are the ones doing the planning, spending the money, and taking care of invites, decorations, etc. My brother once again brought up that I might as well include niece as a birthday celebrant because her birthday is right after son's and I would be cruel to just exclude her. He and sister-in-law still won't throw her own party. I honestly don't like being guilted into doing something for my niece because of my brother's laziness and lack of motivation to party plan. It's toxic and annoying, and as much as I do love my niece, it's not up to me to ensure that her birthday is always celebrated, right? But our parents are torn because they say I should just do it and be the aunt who is supportive and who gives my niece a party so that she has these pictures and videos to look back on down the road. I think they should talk to my brother and tell him to step up and do their own thing instead of pushing everything onto me and my husband. So was I being the asshole? Absolutely not. I think that is so crazy and entitled. What is the sister-in-law doing? Like, I just like, not to be like boys will be boys, but guys are lazy and they don't really care about birthdays like this. So now he's throwing it onto his sister, and I think that's so crazy. And also, who's to say your daughter wants to share her birthday all the time? They're not twins. Like, that's so lazy of them, and blaming someone else for your daughter's birthday, like to celebrate your daughter. I think that's really freaking crazy. So she's definitely not the asshole. I would have been tired of them. This is the third birthday and they still don't want to plan nothing. I'd be like, all right, you're gonna have to pay me a party planning fee because this is crazy. Now I'm gonna need to get a bigger space for you guys' family and also my own, like my husband's family. it's just ridiculous. So she's definitely not being the asshole. And yeah, tell me what y'all think. And let me know if y'all like these. I think it's fun to just like look at situations and see how it like how we see it, because there's so many ways to think, and I know I've been called an asshole. So yeah, okay, see you on the next one.